Hi, I'm Lou, and I want to restore some of the original beauty to this 130-year-old farmhouse by adding real wood shutters. The original shutters are old and rotting. Cheap plastic shutters wouldn't look right on this old farmhouse. New wood shutters cost almost $200 each. So we're going to make our own for $30. We'll use all treated lumber, 2x3s, 2x4s, and a ton of 1/4-inch slats. Wood straight from the hardware store usually has a high moisture content, and left to dry on its own, it'll warp like this. I've stacked all my wood with spacers for air and weight to keep it straight, and I'll put a fan on it to dry it out. I bought a bunch of 1/4-inch thick treated slats. They're cheap and weatherproof, but they have kind of a rough sawn surface. We can smooth it with a hand sander, a belt sander, or a planer. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just trying to take off some of this roughness and end up with a smooth surface. We'll cut these to length with a chop saw. Here's all my slats ready to go. My shutters are 6 feet long, so I'll cut that first. We need to cut a 1-inch wide by 1/2-inch deep slot in this side rail to make room for the louvers. A table saw will give us the 1/2-inch depth we need, no problem, but it only goes about an 1/8 inch wide. You can get a stacking dado saw blade, which is basically a bunch of blades together to add up to 1 inch. I just happen to have a bunch of saw blades, so I'm going to make my own. 15 saw blades, and we have a 1-inch wide dado. There's our channel, and the louvers will sit in here like this. I want my cross members to fit flush to this surface, so I'll mark here with a knife and cut the sides off with an oscillating saw. There are the 2 side rails with notches cut out and the cross members. That last one is a 2x4 because that's how it was on the original shutter. We'll assemble these with glue and deck screws. Now it's time to put our slats in. It's best to have the frame stand up vertically and have a pneumatic brad nailer. I put the first one in already, and next I'll put in this 1/2-inch block of wood that kind of hangs there between this slat and the next slat to keep an even spacing. Drop in the next slat and make sure the sanded side is out and it's leaned backward, and pop it in with 2 brad nails. Now pull out your spacer block and move on to the next one. Check every once in a while with a square to make sure you're coming up straight. We're angling these to get them in, and we won't be able to do that up top, so I'll put in 4 all at once. With all our slats in place, we'll turn our shutter on its side, take a weatherproof glue, and pull it down in the channel. The glue dries a lot faster if you bake it in the sun. Next, we need to make this louver pull. There is no 3/8 by 1/2 treated stock, so we'll have to make our own. I started by cutting this 1x2 in half on the table saw and plane it down to the size we need. Here's our 1/2 by 3/8 stock, and I'll round off the top corners with a belt sander. If you want perfection, use a router bit, but this is good enough for me. We'll paint the poles before we secure them to the shutter. Don't bother doing this since your back's against the wall. I'll nail the poles on back here so I don't split the wood. These are taking about 90 minutes each to build. I've got 4 done there and 2 up with my happy customer wife. Thanks for watching.